Gene Simmons, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I keep bringing Gene back to the show, but he is tweeting again. So he tweeted that he bought $300,000 worth of Cardano and is encouraging his followers to invest in Cardano because he says it's actually more affordable than Bitcoin, which is now worth more than $50,000. So there are a whole bunch of things wrong with this tweet. And to be honest, I'm sick and tired of hearing from these celebrities who have, well, not even celebrities, people who no one cares about. No one asked Gene. Gene, we didn't ask you for your take on this, but thank you for giving it to us. So let's just tear this apart. Before we do that, I did a
Shots
quick Google
fired,
search.
Jen.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen Jen this irritated.
I know. Tell
I'm
us how you
so
really feel,
fired up.
Jen.
I'm so fired up. I did a quick Google search before the show to see what celebrities were doing in 2017, the last time we saw Bitcoin rally like this, and it was much the same. 50 Cent, DJ Khaled were all backing like random coins that had ridiculous things going on behind the scene. So you guys know how I feel about this. How do you feel about what Gene is saying?
Zach, take it away.
I mean, I'm not gonna pick any fights with Gene Simmons, but I just think the silliest thing to me about that tweet was this unit bias, right? So unit
Yes.
bias, people in the space they see a smaller number and they say, okay, I can buy more of those, and therefore it's more affordable. And that's sort of like I think a misconception that just won't die. And I get it, right? It's cooler to buy like 1,000 of a thing than 1,000th of a thing. But you can buy Bitcoin in very small denominations. I think as far down as 8 decimals. Is that how far down Bitcoin goes? So this idea that just because one Bitcoin equals $54,000 means that you can't purchase any of it. I think it's something that a lot of newcomers in the space don't quite grasp. So when I see him saying that about Cardano as it relates to Bitcoin, I think that's like, that's where I put up the yellow card. I mean, I'm not as fired up about as Jen is as I'm not as fired up as Jen is. Like Jen, you're just like fired up right
I'm
now.
really
about
mad
this.
about this. Yeah.
That's not me. But the unit bias issue, that I think is something that should be corrected in future tweets from Kiss,
I mean,
Frontman,
I
and
think,
others. So.
yeah, if you're showing that much of like a lack of understanding about some of the basic concepts of crypto, then like this is a pretty good reason that maybe people should look at Cardano and say like, wait a second, like if this guy's pumping it for this reason because he thinks a Bitcoin can be sold, only bought in one unit, like maybe you should pause for a second before going all in, like apparently Gene Simmons has.
Well, Cardano's pretty cool, but I totally agree with the like. Should we be taking this man's advice?
Don't let
'Cause he
this be
doesn't
what pushes you there.
Well, but
Yeah, he's
on
a
the same
guitarist.
time,
It's
like I
legendary.
also think I think that it's cool. Like he's into crypto. I think that's a good thing. Just wish he understood economics and currency a little better. Will, what were you going to say earlier?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is kind of the Cardano play in and of itself is like leaning on unit bias. They have a lot of programs throughout the world, like Mongolia and East Africa, where they've just been like distributing or onboarding people to Cardano because the price is so low. And so this is kind of like the negative side of that unit bias. And I think Cardano has kind of leaned into like the positive side of that unit bias where you can get people who would normally not be exposed to financial markets involved. But overall, it's pretty disgusting. I'm with Jen. It's just kind of gross.
Interesting. I mean, I think it's so dumb.
someone.
Like, sorry, go ahead.
Go
Jen.
for it, Nick. I was going to say, I think someone tweeted it and kind of insinuated like, what's behind this? Or is there something else behind this? Are you maybe getting paid to say this? And then he said, go out and do your own research, make your own decisions, which seems like a cop out, Gene. Are you giving us advice or are you not giving us advice?
Has he lived through 2020 and 2021 when he says be less cynical? Because I don't know how that's worked the last couple of years.
Yeah, cynicism is great. Lean into that. I'm just going to
Trump's
echo what
research.
Zach said. Like the hardest thing for me to swallow in all of this is and I didn't mean that to be a pun, going back to the food stuff. That was accidental. So this whole, like, the people
Always
don't
back to
understand how
food.
currency works, right? You don't say, well, the US dollar is a lot more affordable than the yen. You know, I a lot more expensive than the yen. I can get like 100 yen to every dollar. Like, it just doesn't work like that, because when you go to Japan and you buy things, there's an extra 2 zeros at the end of everything. That's how currency works out, right? So I think that people really need to start thinking about money a little more, thinking about how currency works. The good thing about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular is that it has started the conversation about this. A lot more people know what the Federal Reserve now is. A lot more people understand monetary policy and inflation, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
So what
And
I'm
there is
hearing is that should have
always,
stayed in the draft folder.
it sparked a conversation. It sparked a conversation, and it let us learn more. There's always more to learn in this space, and that's the beauty of it all.